Welcome back to the Hoops Report on Pittsburgh Sports Now. I'm George Michalowski with PSN, going to be taking you through all of today and this week's action in Pittsburgh basketball. Today is Tuesday, December 17th. We had nothing last night. We had some news on the Pitt basketball front. Brandin Cummings, Beebah Cummings, won the ACC Rookie of the Week award for his stellar performance against Eastern Kentucky, dropping 30 points, 6 for 8 from 3. He was outstanding. Beebah is now the third-ranked shooter on Pitt's team in terms of three-pointers made. He's shooting at over 40%. He's 40% exactly on catch and shoot threes. He has been a revelation for this team so far this season, coming in as a rookie. I mean, I did not expect him to make this big of an impact this early. Now, I expected Damian Dunn to be in the mix. Sure, he's been hurt. But for Beebah to step up, I mean, we saw it from the jump. He was making the little plays. He was doing all the little things to get on the floor. Once he got on the floor, now he's showing who he really is as a scorer. I mean, Nelly, his brother, talked about it on the broadcast. Beebah's talked about it. His teammates have talked about it all year. Like, Beebah is a scorer, and he likes to get his. So it's really cool to see him come into his own. Like I said, leading the team last game against EKU, he had some really, really crucial buckets. It's not like that game was a cakewalk the whole way. I mean, for those of you who watch it, like, he had the first 12 points of the game, and then throughout that first half, he still kept producing. And near the end of the first half, had a huge bucket, huge layup. That brings me to my next point with Beebah. He's one of the best transition players, transition scorers so far this season in college basketball. His attempts aren't as high, his volume isn't as high as some of the other guys on the list, but he's 7 for 10 in transition, and only I think 2 of those were breakaways, were dunks on breakaways. He had a 3 in there out of those 7 field goals. He had a couple crafty finishes at the rim, including that one at the end of the half against EKU, including that up and under against Radford that we all remember. So Beebah's been special. The problem for Pitt, I guess it's not a problem yet. I mean, they're sitting pretty right now. They're doing just fine. But something that I wouldn't have expected in the offseason is that Beebah and Zach Austin are 2 of their top 3 3-point shooters. Now, again, problem isn't the right word for that. I mean, Zach Austin leading the team in threes with 17 at 43% is an absolutely amazing development for Pitt basketball this year. Beebah being able to hit 13 threes already this season at a 43% clip, like, special. Like, that's a huge addition to this team. It's something that I was looking to Amsel Delilich for in the preseason just because of his pedigree and making 83s in Bosnia last year. But Beebah's been solid. He's been nails from downtown. He's been really special. So is Zach. We've talked about him before. Uh, the problem for Pitt here is that their top 3 3-point attempt takers are all below 30%. Jalen Lowe shooting 27%. He is leading the team in 3-pointers attempted. Guillermo Diaz-Graham, we all know his well-documented struggles this year. He's shooting 19.6, 20% from 3-point range. Ishmael Leggett, 29%. So those 3 guys are taking most of these shots. So from the outside perspective, you'd think this is a poor shooting team. Now, right now, I'd say it is overall. But they still feel confident in their shooting as a team. I think Jalen Lowe and Ish Leggett and Guillermo, all 3 of them have it in them to shoot way higher than 30% and to get past that number for Pitt. Once we see that number go up, I'm sure as Damian Dunn gets back in the rotation after his injury recovers, I'm sure the whole team's shooting efforts will increase. So that's the big news around Pitt today, is that last night's news came out about Beebah Cummings winning the Rookie of the Week. Duquesne's front, Meg McConnell won the A10 Player of the Week. On RMU's front, they've got Towson tonight at home. The RMU men will take on Towson. 1.5-point favorites early on, according to DraftKings, are the Colonials. And it should be a close game. RMU's 30 or 40 spots ahead of the Tigers in the net rankings, but we know RMU has had their ups and downs this year. Cam Woods, is he fully healthy? Is he not fully healthy? I'm excited to watch that game. I'll be out there in Moon. So come say what up tonight if you're in the crowd, and go Colonials. Let's get some wins for the Pittsburgh basketball community.